The most anticipated earnings releases for the week of June 3rd, 2024. Presented by earningswhispers. The late days of June are upon us, and fewer than 100 companies are scheduled to report earnings this week. While we will get some important results from some technology names, this week will be mostly about the consumer. RH, the company formerly known as Restoration Hardware, is not on the list this week. It probably isn't a concern yet because, while they typically report during the first week of June, it isn't unusual for them to report during the second week. But each of the past 3 years, the company told us by the end of May when they were going to report, and so far, they've yet to do so. The only name with analyst coverage reporting before the open on Monday is SIC, which missed expectations last quarter, but still has government spending as a tailwind, and that doesn't seem to be changing in 2024. Most of the focus on Monday, though, will be after the close when GitLab reports. It may be too soon, but the indications are that companies are phasing out their AI testing and either giving up on developing their own in-house apps in favor of someone's models and apps, or ready to move their products into production. Or maybe just IT budgets are tighter than we thought. So GitLab might be a more important read-through than you think. Most of the focus this week will be on CrowdStrike, which reported strong results last quarter, and it is still likely in a secular growth story. But it and its peers have doubled in price over the past year, and its peers have nearly all shown weak price reactions to earnings this quarter. Around the same time, we will get results from Hewlett Packard Enterprise. The stock has been trading just below $18 for about 3 years now, but last quarter, the company missed expectations and lowered its guidance, taking the stock below $15, where buyers stepped in and drove it above $18. There aren't many expecting a surprise in either direction from the company, but its sister company just rallied nearly 20% last week on in-line results and guidance, but gave indications that the PC has bottomed. So, signs that HP is finally getting a piece of the AI pie could make for a long-term breakout above $18. Lululemon tops investors' list on Wednesday. Last quarter, the company beat expectations but lowered its guidance for the first time since 2017, other than a negative pre-announcement a couple of years ago. The stock has sold off significantly on the news, including a gap lower more recently on the announcement of leadership changes at the company. The expectations are for another beat but lowered guidance, and this has driven sentiment to its lowest level since late 2022. Sentiment isn't as bearish in dollartree, but the company reported rather weak results last quarter and has pushed its earnings release into June for the first time since it moved its fiscal year end more than 20 years ago. Investors fear weakness among low-end consumers will persist, and the impact of the tornado on its distribution center in Oklahoma should also impact results. Thursday morning will start with results from NIO, which has been a laggard among laggards, but the EV stocks appear to at least be forming a base along the bottom, and sentiment in NIO hit record lows ahead of earnings. After the close on Thursday will be the busiest reporting period, and DocuSign tops the list of interest among investors. The company reported strong results last quarter against still bearish sentiment, but it also reported in line with the earnings whisper, and it failed to capture the post-earnings announcement drift. In fact, now, after last week's price action, the stock has filled the gap from last quarter, and the 55 level is looking important. On Friday, we'll get results from J. Jill and Graham Corporation. Despite it being a light week for earnings, several large moves are still expected. The largest, based on option pricing, is Sportsman's Warehouse. Much of this is just simply math because of its low price, but the stock averages nearly 17% on earnings in either direction, and last quarter, the company gave guidance below estimates, but the stock rallied on the news, which isn't typically a bearish sign. The calendar for the month of June is starting to fill in, but as I said last week, this week we should hear that Oracle will report next week, so for now, they are left off the calendar.